What is going on, Cowboys Nation? Canes Nation, I should say, too. I want to get everyone included. Hopefully, you guys are having a good start to the new year. I know we got it started right for the Canes. Cowboys, it's probably like, hey, let's get rid of this thing. Let's start at 2026, get all this stuff over. So as you guys are rolling in, make sure you hit that subscribe. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you hit the share. We got 137 new subscribers just in the last 7 days. So definitely appreciate the love. Maybe misery loves company. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is, but definitely appreciate it. Also, like I said, we do have our Cowboys Cave Army. So you could join the family. You can be a member to the crew, and we do some private, we do some, membership only videos. We do some giveaways there to support it. So it just supports the channel. So if you guys are inclined to do that, you can definitely join the family. Definitely appreciate it. I got the crew in the house. I got my man Jeff and G-Reg. I know G-Reg's feeling good. Jeff, I don't know. I mean, maybe you joined the Hurricane bandwagon. We always have a seat for you being a Florida State Seminole. How you guys doing this morning? How you doing, Jeff?
Hey, I'm good, fellas. Happy New Year. Hey, good to be back. And you know what? Hats off to your Hurricanes. See, I'm not a hater. I've always had a healthy respect for the U. Absolutely. Right? I mean, those are some of my favorite 30 for 30s, and the rivalry between FSU and Miami. You have to have that respect. We didn't dodge people like other teams in Florida. Yes. We played the best. Yeah. I got to give my hats off to you guys because y'all showed what Miami football was about. So congratulations, fellas. My money's riding on y'all next round. Keep doing your thing.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. How you doing, Greg?
Good. That feels good, man. You see, I had the dawn. I'm keeping it up. I'm superstition. I'm not, but I am this year. I'm going to leave it all out there. Leave it on the field. Leave it in the room until this game is over and we get up in the championship. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling kind of optimistic about our Cowboys going forward because I think after Jerry admitted about his personnel decisions and management that maybe in the offseason he might do something about it, fingers crossed. But this is a new year, a new time. Put everything in the past. Let's move forward and just try to enjoy what's ahead of you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I got to say, I was telling you guys before we got on live. I mean, and I posted the video. My nephew just happened to be recording stuff while the game was going on. So he caught the winning touchdown and caught just the natural reaction, not scripted, not with the video. You see some of these. It was just the way I felt. And the buildup. Just frustration being a Miami fan and just waiting for that payback, waiting for that moment to see this team rise and reach their potential. It was the best feeling I've had in so long, when it comes to sporting events. And, Jeff and I went to the Tampa Bay game when we put Brady into retirement. It was just like that. I mean, and I forget, and it's like, I want to feel that for the Cowboys. So I can't imagine, when the Cowboys finally get this thing right and get to a Super Bowl. I mean, if that's just me, I can't imagine all the Cowboy fans, around the world and how they'll be, man. This whole place will get shut down. The whole world might get shut down when that happens. So it was an awesome feeling. And they're not done yet. I mean, the Fiesta Bowl, and we're going to get into the Canes a little bit, but I'll just say the Fiesta Bowl, which we'll talk about, has been the Achilles heel of the Hurricanes. Mm-hmm. And that's another hurdle that they can get over. They get past the Ohio State, they get past the A&M on the road and all that. But it will be a hurdle. But looking at the Cowboys, and we're going to bounce around a little bit. We're going to talk some about this game, but to be honest with you, there's really not a whole lot. It's really more an evaluation. With the game with the Giants. I think you guys saw that Jadon Blue is going to be starting. Maffa is going to be in there. You basically all our running backs they put them on IR to bring these guys up. So you're not going to see Williams. You're not going to see Davis. You're going to see Josh Butler coming up. So really real quick on this game, and then we're going to get into some of the priorities with the Cowboys and kind of where they're at. Is there anything that you're looking at besides the Cowboys need to win? Because I put $300 on the over at the beginning of the year thinking this was easy money, and it hadn't turned to be so easy. I need the Cowboys to win. So is there anything, do the running backs intrigue you to see what they got? Josh Butler, I mean, what are you trying to watch as a fan in this game? Because I know it doesn't mean anything, so you got to find something to intrigue you. Jeff, what's your thoughts? And you guys in the chat chime in as well.
So biggest thing for me is Jadon. I'm big on him when he came out of Texas. I thought, hey, we could give him a couple weeks when he learns the protection and the scheme. He could be a problem, right? And unfortunately, hasn't shown up yet. So I'm looking to see, rumors he's going to be starting. If he starts, I expect him to struggle in pass protection and picking up the blitz because truthfully, outside of Zeke, rookie running backs, they struggle against picking up the blitz. But I think he can be a runner. I think he can be impactful. I think that will give us a better opportunity to look at and assess. We want to keep Javonte, but how should we pay him?
Yeah.
We have people in the fold. Malik Davis shown that he can contribute. And if Jadon Blue, then okay, well now maybe we don't have to pay as much for Javonte.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe that market's not as big, and maybe we can get him instead of a 13 million, maybe we get him 10, 11 million. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking towards that. And I'm looking to see, and I saw Overshown's out.
Yeah.
So I'm looking to see what our linebackers and our back half secondary does.
Yeah.
Even if it's the last game of the season, usually when we play the Giants, there's some points on the board. It doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. Because even if Jameis comes in, Jameis is liable to throw for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, 2 to us and 2 to the Giants.
Yeah.
So where's your pride? I don't care if it's the last game of the season.
That's what
Where's your pride? Like,
yes.
And this is a problem that I've had. I have it with my wife. I've had it with my children. I have it with everybody. I'm a competitor. People when my children were younger, I'm playing games against them. I could be playing basketball, playing football. We could be on PlayStation. Why are you beating them up so bad? Are we keeping score? Yes, but I'm playing to win.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is. I don't care. If we keep in score, I'm playing to win. I'm not just going out there going through the motions. And I need this. And if I feel like that, and I felt like that my whole life, I need to see this from this team.
Yeah.
So for me, that's the biggest thing I'm looking for today.
Yeah. And I think the coach too with Shoddy, I mean, wanting to finish, 5-1 in the division, you at least get 500, you at least get something to make you feel better about. But it is about the players, and I think there's going to be an overhaul on defense. So it's an opportunity for some of these defensive guys to kind of show what they've got. And as they go into the 26. But Greg, what are you watching today? These are tough games to watch as a fan because there's, the emotion's really not there. But what are you looking for today?
Well, I'm really want to see what Maffa has, because we haven't seen Maffa at all this year. And I want to see, and I know I'm not going to get a chance to see a lot from Maffa because this is one game. And with other players out, he may not get the complement of all of the forces that he needs to support him. But I really want to see what Maffa has. Is Maffa that beast that I thought he would be coming out of college in Clemson? And Blue, I'm not expecting a whole lot out of Blue. We saw him maybe once in one game this season, and it was kind of, iffy. So I think Blue has a lot more to work on here with the plays and getting the schemes together than it is on the field. But Maffa, I'm going to be watching a lot. I'm not expecting, to be honest, I'm not expecting a damn thing different from our defensive backs. Nothing. Because even if somebody shines today, it's not telling me anything other than the fact that they're playing their very last game. Like this may be the last time they're playing with the Cowboys. So they're trying to put a little bit of something on tape for other teams, or maybe they can squeak in and stay with the Cowboys. I'm not expecting much from them. I'm not expecting much from linebackers. And the defensive line, I just think they're going to do what they normally do. And I think maybe by the third quarter, we'll probably pull most of them out. Not most of them, but Clark and those guys out anyway. Offense, I do want to beat the Giants. I'm like Jeff. I've been an athlete all my life. I want to win, period. I don't care if we go 0-14. I want us to win that last game. And I don't know how long they're going to keep Dak in. Dak wants to win. Dak said it's about bragging rights. It's about pride. So I hope the rest of the offense is that way. And I hope that the key players don't go out there and try to play safe because they don't want to make sure they don't have any injuries, anything in the last game of the season going in the offseason. I want them to go out there and take this game. The Giants are our rivals. Dart is going to play this game because he wants to beat the Cowboys. Dart is going to play because he's a competitor. His first season in, he wants to show his fans and his coaching staff that I came here to win. So Dart's not going to come out there and just slough off because I don't want to get hurt for the rest of the season. He's going to play. Now they got some key players out, but at the same time, the Giants might be doing an overhaul with a lot of people too. So the Giant players out there are going to be playing for a job too. So Marfa is my number one focus today. And I want our offense to put up as many points as they can before they put Milton in, because Milton will come in at some time. And I don't want us to just blow this game just for the hell of it.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be interesting with the Giants too, because the Giants are in a position for a high draft, could be the number one draft pick. So will they play Dart long? I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to decide to do as far as their offense, because they're getting a whole new coaching staff. They're going to get a whole new thing. So they're pretty much, it may not be the coach's decision who plays. It may be ownership saying, hey, dude, we ain't playing for nothing. We got a young quarterback. I'm not looking to get him hurt in the last game of the season. That don't mean nothing. We're securing that top draft pick. We just want to go ahead and just call it a day. So that's why this is just kind of like one of those games where you're just trying to get through it. But looking at, really looking at where we're at with the Cowboys, Kenny Clark came out and he had some strong comments. And to me, they're comments that needed to be said a long time ago. And for the new guy to come in here and make these comments, it makes me feel a couple things, because you're looking at 26 and they were going through the cap. And Kenny Clark he's a $21 million cap hit, or it could be a $21 million savings. There's no if they cut him, they have no dead money that they got to carry over. I think they're going to do something kind of like with Tank, where they're going to maybe offer him some sort of extension, get down that number to get him beyond there, because he's shown leadership. So I think there is a plan for him. And you're talking about with Quinnen Williams and Osa, and I think they've got some pieces on the defensive line of leadership. But he basically said this team needs dogs. They need guys that want to play football. They don't need guys that want to do all the extracurricular stuff. We need more of those guys on this team. And I look back and I'm looking at other teams. I'm looking at Seattle. Seattle don't have a bunch of big name guys, but they got some nasty players that want to take your head off. And you saw what happened in San Francisco. You look at Miami, and Miami's defense, very physical defense, team defense. You got, I was talking about, who's the cornerback? Keontae. I was talking about him. He's sleeping at the field. He don't want to leave. He's ready to get this thing going. So, that's what this team needs, is attitude. So I think there's going to be a big overhaul. It's got to start Monday or Sunday after this game of getting rid of Eberflus. I think they need a fresh start. And we did a show on, hey, who can they get? But it's still going to come down to some of these players. And I think the Cowboys need to bring in guys that care about football as their priority. So, Jeff, start with you. Kenny Clark's comments, is it lip service? Did you feel some with that? What's your thoughts when guys are making those stronger comments going into the offseason?
Man, we said it last week. You said it this week. You said it during the week when we were talking about college football. I don't want somebody from Boise State. We need some dogs.
Yeah. Definitely
on the defensive side of the ball. I'm going to tell you, the only person on Ohio State that impressed me was Downs.
Yeah.
Like, he was everywhere. He would be, if he panned out, if his game, collegiate game, transferred over to his NFL game, and he had the same impact, he'd be the best safety we've had since Darren Woodson.
Yeah.
How long ago was that? But big college, high expectations. You could tell he's a dog. He was everywhere on the field. Ruben Bain from Miami, dog. Like, you can't get these guys everywhere. You have to get guys that have that natural chip on their shoulder. I dare you to knock it off. I've been walking around with this chip on my shoulder my whole entire life. Or I've won at every single level that I've played on. So my expectations are that I'm going to win. I'm going to compete. We are going to win. And I'm not going to settle for anything less. Yeah. Like, for me, my son plays soccer. He plays college soccer. You know what he watches before every game? He watches the U 30 for 30. One of them. He loves listening to Ed Reed talk. He loves his leadership. He loves what he demands. He loves what the expectation is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Cowboys should have. We don't. We have people who expect to be pampered.
Yeah.
They expect to get all the rewards of being a Cowboy without putting in the effort. And that's the BS that I get tired of from seeing, from looking at from the Cowboys. I need to see, look, I believe in work hard, play hard. I'm not sure if we're doing the first part. And I definitely see that we're not doing the second part. So for me, they need to get people that have a winner's mentality, both in the draft, but I think they also need to do it in free agency.
Yeah.
Right. We talked about it the last week. Restructure some of these contracts, bring in a couple free agents, more so than we normally do.
Yeah.
And people that can be tone setters in the locker room, that know what it takes to win, and that will sit there and command those expectations to the other players, to include the younger players, to change the culture in the locker room. You're not winning anything until we do that first.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. And just looking at the players, that they want to, that you want to get, like the dogs, and you brought up Bain, and it's just interesting because, here's a kid, coming out of Miami. I mean, just straight up, he's a dog, and you saw the comments. So Texas A&M had something to say. He just kind of just chilled, and after the game, he had something to say back. Ohio State had something to say. I think that's why Miami fans are kind of upset, because they're playing Ole Miss, and Ole Miss ain't talking too much. So it's like we like having that chip and build on the shoulder. But the thing with Bain is, then I hear all these experts, well, his arms are a little short, and I don't know if he could translate the NFL. And the dude he's going to be good in the NFL. There's no doubt about it. He's going to be a playmaker in the NFL. He just has that tenacity. So I think sometimes the Cowboys and scouts in general, they get into the measurables without looking at the film, and I always go back to Warren Sapp, and I think it was Mike Mamula was the guy in Philadelphia. Philadelphia drafted him. He came out of Boston College. He made his trainer did everything to what the combine was about, and he put up unbelievable numbers. And they drafted him over Warren Sapp, and how'd that work out? The dude's out of the league. Warren Sapp's a Hall of Famer. So that's why I say I want the Cowboys scouts, and I want their coaching staff, go get the nasty dogs, go get some guys with championship pedigree, go get guys that had to fight and claw every single week in college football. That's what I want this draft to really be about. But Greg, what's your thoughts on Kenny Clark's comments? Anything to add or anything different?
No, we need more Kenny Clarks, and Kenny Clark was right on point. See, the Cowboys, we have the team that had the first multi-billion-dollar stadium, and all of the glare and everything that comes with the Cowboys. They really love wearing the star. They love wearing the star more than they love performing on the field, the glitz, the glamour, all of the hype. And just like Clowney said when he walked in, he looked around, he said, these guys got it spoiled. Jerry is spoiling these guys. Kenny Clark came from Green Bay, who's got dogs. They got dogs in Green Bay. They come out there and they put it on the line, lunch bucket players wanting to win. So Kenny Clark is accustomed to that, and he knows we don't have that. We got soft shells out there that are want to look good than want to play hard to win something. And if we luckily get in the playoffs because we have the talent and we made it, we don't go in there and play it like we really want to win. Bain may very well be a Dallas Cowboy. With Michael Irvin, Ray Lewis, Jimmy Johnson, and all these others, Cristobal, and Jerry's track record with Cowboys players that Jimmy Johnson brought back in his days, I can see a big campaign, a huge campaign from those individuals to Jerry Jones. And if Baines is available, or if you can use one of those draft picks to move up and get Baines, go and get him. Yes, Baines might be a little short, and they talk about his arm, but you can't measure his heart. You can't measure his willingness and his determination to go in there and play and win. And those are the people that shine in the NFL. Too many.
He's going to be gone.
Too many.
He ain't going to be around where we pick.
Yeah, and he may not. but you never know. It's just
unless
like
these scouts get too like I said, they're coming out with his arms are too short, this and that. I mean, you see scouts do stupid shit unless they did something like that. But,
look, nobody thought Zeke would be what Zeke was when we got Zeke. And you look at some of the players we got in our drafts. Nobody thought those players would be available, but we end up getting them. So you'll never know. You never know with the draft what people are looking at. And a lot of times they go for that shiny penny in that first, second, and third pick. And then one or two of those turn out to be busts or not as good as they need them because they're not surrounded by the type of team that can develop them and give them the support they need. And one good player like that would be Young with Carolina. Carolina didn't do nothing for him but put him on the field, expect him to win. Somewhere about the almost end of the season, the last third, they got it and realized from all the noise, they need to protect that man. And now look what he's doing. So I'm hopeful in the draft. I'm really hoping that Jerry does something about his management deficiencies that he has admitted to, and give it a long discussion and talk with his family and decide on whether he's going to bring somebody else in, even if he starts off as a consultant, bring him in. And then when the draft comes, do have a good draft. We make good drafts, but have a real good draft focused on our defense. And Clark, we get a couple of more lunch bucket players like Clark, and he's not the only one in the locker room talking about we need dogs. The rest have to get in line. They'll have no choice but to get in line or exit stage left.
Yeah, and I think Quentin Williams is another guy who's been vocal in the locker room. And I think he's another guy that's and he comes from Alabama championship, mentality, won several national championships. So I think he could definitely bring that. One thing I didn't, Zeke was fourth. He didn't drop. Probably thinking of like CD Lamb, Des Bryant. I mean, those kind of guys, drop to us. I don't, Zeke. There was a big argument. I saw a comment: Ramsey over Zeke.
Well, I had that conversation.
Something to be said for that. Running backs that early, but I love Zeke. So even though he's an Ohio State guy, I did love Zeke. But looking at the Cowboys, and I did a small video on it, but I didn't really get your guys' opinion on it because just kind of everything happened in the New Year's. But you got Diggs getting released. I think it's smart move by Dallas. I mean, I don't like crapping on players, and I'm not. I wish him well, and I hope he gets his career back to where it needs to be. There's a lot of weird things going on with Diggs this year that we probably don't know, and we may never know, but it's very odd. And it all started when his boo got traded. He got a little upset about that, but he didn't mind taking that $100 million contract and all that.
But I think it started before that. When Micah started politicking for his contract, there was nobody that backed him as much as Diggs. To the point where I'm like, but I felt like that it wasn't, hey, let's pay Micah. Some of his comments and remarks were, to me, detrimental to the team.
Yeah.
And for me, you can do both. You can back the organization and back the player with just how you communicate. And his communication was more tearing down the organization. So when we released him, hey, I was happy. Because I felt like he was a cancer.
It saved money, and it was actually a smart move by Dallas because you're taking a lot of that money this year where they could take it rather than taking it next year. And this is kind of what I'm talking about, where you've got these diva guys, or they dogs, and he's kind of turned into that. He turned into that diva guy, get paid and this, and the performance kind of drops off. And it's not personal. Like Dak said it best, man. This is business. You guys need to understand football is a business. If you're not performing to the expectations of the contract, you're probably going to get cut. I mean, that's just the way it is. And
Diggs. And Diggs, it started way back when because Diggs had two major knee surgeries.
Yeah.
He's been with the team for 6 years. And a cornerback being with the team for 6 years, if you're extremely healthy, you can still maintain it for maybe a couple more years. After 6 years, you go through wear and tear on your knees. It's going to really fuck with your confidence. And just like I was talking about how in his head, he didn't have the confidence anymore for how his game was, especially when he came back from the injuries. And then you got to go way back. Remember this now. You got to go way back when he was injured and he was healing. He was supposed to be in the Cowboys organization, but he chose to go to South Florida. He chose to go to South Florida and do his own thing. And there was a contract, part of his contract. When he came back, he had to be, I think it was like 87% ready to go and 87% healthy. And I think what he was doing was hiding the fact that he didn't rehab as well as he should have. And he signed that big contract. And he came back and they kept him on the team. But by now, the relationship with him and Jerry Jones is starting to sour because they expected him to stay in Dallas and rehab and get back together, and he didn't. Yeah. And now it's starting to sour. He already had a diva mentality. We already know that. And then all this stuff comes up with Micah, and then he's still rehabbing, and all of a sudden his confidence is starting to dwindle. Then he finally comes back. I think he came back a little sooner because I think he felt the pressure. He came back and he got exposed and dogged.
Yeah. And he looked like he.
Yep, and he knows he's not that same player anymore.
He looked like he got one technique. That's the trail technique.
That's it.
I'm gonna tell you, I don't think he's got his legs anymore. I don't think he has his legs.
And that goes, and his confidence is gone as well. Absolutely. That man had 17 interceptions, I think, in his first couple of seasons. And he was the kind that could sit back and bait a quarterback and wait and then go up there and intercept the ball. No longer could he do that. Right off the jump, he was getting beat when he came back in the game. So his confidence is gone. His legs are gone. I would be really surprised if Green Bay signs him in the offseason to stay with them for next season.
If they do, it's a league minimum contract. If they do, it's like I was surprised anyone claimed him off waivers because of the contract. But I mean, I knew as soon as we said we cut him, and my brother's a Packers fan, so obviously he continues to thank me about Micah Parsons, and I've had some choice words from him that I won't say here. So as soon as they cut him, I said, "Oh, he's going to Green Bay." So it was no surprise to me that he was there. I think that Green Bay, I know they have a lot of injuries in their back end, but I think they're going to say, I'd be surprised if he actually finished the season out with Green Bay. They may cut him beforehand because I don't think he has legs.
No, and Jeff, I think the only reason they signed him because they are going to the playoffs and they want to load up with whatever's out there left that nobody else wants and to make up for our injuries, and hopefully it'll give them some kind of relief.
Yeah, they're hurting. I mean, they're hurting in the secondary. So, I mean, they had to do something. So I don't blame them. Like you said, Jeff, surprised they were the only team to put in a claim. They probably could have just let him go, and then he was going to go there anyway, and they probably just could have got some cheap deal or whatever they're going to do. I don't think he'll be with them next year. I think this is just kind of they're desperate. I mean, they're in the playoffs. Obviously, their defense took a hit with Parsons getting hurt. I mean, they're in a bad way. But I mean, this is the kind of thing is what I'm saying, and it's not it's not a shot on Diggs, but these are the kind of players the Cowboys just don't need in their locker room, and they've got to move on from it. I don't think he's going to be the only one. I don't think this is the last name that you're going to hear. I think they need to overhaul this defense. I would overhaul all the linebackers except for James. I would be all of them can go.
Oh, you got to keep Overshown. You got to keep Overshown.
I mean, Overshown.
Yeah,
I look at him as a hybrid kind of pass rusher, but they never used him as that for whatever reason. But yeah, Overshown. But I'm not going to pay Overshown. That's the only thing I'm going to say is he's got to have like 3 or 4 healthy years before I get confident again.
So I pay him, but it's going to be heavily weighted on bonuses.
Yeah. Right? I'm not going to do the Jalen Smith deal. You know what I'm saying?
Your best ability is your availability. So that's where the contract to me is going to show.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it comes to the defensive coordinator that they get. Now, the only news I want to hear after the game, either Sunday or Monday, is that the Cowboys have moved on from Eberflus. And I think some people had doubts. I had a little bit of a doubt in the beginning, but I think some of that doubt has gone away because, Stephen Jones even came out, I think Friday, and he said this defense needs an identity. They have no identity. They need an identity. We've got to work to get that identity in the offseason, which pretty much should solidify that they're not going to bring Eberflus back. Now, it sucks that it's 4 coordinators in 4 years. It is what it is, but you just can't to have continuity. You can't keep a guy that's just not getting it done. And he had ample opportunity. He had a chance after the bye. They had some momentum. The defense started good in games and then kind of shit the bed. You get Overshown back. You're really not using him the way that, Zimmer used him, being kind of that Swiss Army knife. So I think it is time, just they got to change it up, and they got to get someone with some attitude. They got to get someone, like I said, I would take a position coach, or if you can get a DC that's not going to get a head coaching job, that's going to be hard on a good team. But unless you can get a veteran guy, I would find a young position coach on a team that's defense is dominated. Look at the Seahawks. Look at, some of these other teams and get them, go really find someone that you can keep for a few years. So what is your percentage, Jeff, on Eberflus on the Joneses keeping him?
Man, for me, all right, I'm not going to be pessimistic. For me, I feel like Jerry already knows.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, there's a 95+% chance that he's gone. And to me, it doesn't matter. If we don't need continuity just for continuity's sake, especially if it's crap.
Yes.
Right. I don't want to continue to be crap. Now, he wasn't dealt a great hand, but the lack of adjustments that he made the people available to him, that's the troubling thing for me. That to me shows that you're limited to just one way. And if I don't have all the pieces I need, I'm going to struggle.
Yeah. Like you talked, like if the secondary sucks, blitz.
Yep.
Just take it. They're going to score anyway. Just do something different.
Look, so, and I think to a certain extent, Dan Quinn was the exact same way.
Yeah.
Right. And when it worked, boy, it looked good. And it made some people some money. But when it didn't, we looked awful. And it always showed up at the most inopportune times. Green Bay during the playoffs. And it's like, what are we watching? So for me, he needs to go. I'm looking for a younger and someone who maybe not, who's not a defensive coordinator yet. Take someone from the Texans staff. Take someone from Seattle's defensive staff.
Cleveland, yeah.
Cleveland, that's another one, right? Yeah. The only reason why I'm not saying Brian Flores, and I'm big on Brian Flores, and I think he should be a head coach, is if we plan on keeping Clark, Flores runs a 3-4. And that's not going to fit with the personnel that we currently have.
Yeah.
So with Williams and Clark.
Speaking of with Osen, there was rumors, and it's all rumors are going to fly with Crosby. I mean, how would you feel about trading one of your D tackles like probably would have to be Osa because he's under contract, just got re-signed and all that, and a draft pick to get Crosby? Are you, he's 28. I mean, he's still got some game left. Or I'd rather just go in the draft and draft a guy.
Bring me in the draft.
Yeah.
Because if your name is not Calais Campbell, right, especially at the defensive tackle, when you reach 28, are you going to have that many more years that are of that level of production?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'd rather go into the draft and find someone there.
Yeah.
I want to maximize my draft capital as well, because we have so many holes on the defensive side that need to be filled.
Yeah.
I'm already struggling right now in my head. I was looking at it last night. All right, how do we get Caleb Downs? Because I'm looking at who drafts before us when I see Cincinnati, and I'm like, how does Cincinnati pass up on him?
Mm-hmm.
The defense that they have, right? And we're, I think, 4 places behind them right now or something like that. I think they're supposed to be 10th, and we're like at 14th.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how much would we have to give to get up before them in order to get someone like Caleb Downs, right? So, and that's just sliding a couple places when we need to maximize our draft capital, especially on the back end. So for me, I would hold tight and not make that move.
Yeah. And I'm thinking,
disagree.
I want Schwartz. I want Brian Flores. I just don't think he's going to be able. They're going to give him up. And even if they did give him up, I think he would be more apt to wanting a head coach job than anything else. But I want Schwartz. A lot of people don't understand Schwartz has always been a highly effective defensive coordinator. He didn't make it as a head coach, but he's been one hell of a defensive coordinator, and he's doing a good job at Cleveland with it. If we get, and he's a dog. Schwartz is a dog.
Oh, he's tough. He's tough.
And if we get Schwartz, I think that will make a huge difference. And in the draft, remember now, I'm not banking on it, but if Jerry really gives a conscious decision about his management epiphany, maybe he might do some things strange in the draft to give up some future picks in order to move up in the draft and get our boy from Ohio State, or get somebody else, another defensive lineman that we know that's going to be highly taunted in the NFL during the draft. You never know. We never know what Jerry's going to do, and that's the thing about it. We never know what he's going to do. But I think we have the 12th pick, and I think with the 12th pick,
they're down further than that.
14th, I think.
They're like 14.
14?
Yeah.
I think we get down to there. Yeah, the notables may be gone. The notables may be gone, but there may still be some dogs out there the scouts are looking at that are not getting the attention that they need, that will come in at their 14th pick and be a home run. Yeah. So it really depends on what the scouts are looking at for the Cowboys and what Jerry's mindset is going to be when that time comes, and he doesn't just automatically supersede and override, say, I'm going to get who I want to get. Because the 14th pick, that you can't tell me that there aren't 14 dogs out there.
Oh, yeah, there are. Absolutely.
No, they got plenty. They should be able to, they got 2 ones. They should be able to get 2 starters. I mean, they got to get 2 starters out of it. Let me ask you a couple things in the chat, because I see this name flying around. How would you feel about Al Harris? No coordinator experience. He been in Dallas. The secondary's always been good playmaker, but I mean, my only concern with Al Harris is then you're kind of taking that risk. And it'd be the same risk if you've got a position coach from another team. Do the Cowboys want it because they're kind of in that win now mode? Do you want to go with like a Schwartz, or if they were lucky enough to get a Flores, or get another established, maybe a DC on one of these big college teams that's doing really, just not the Miami guy, of course, but one of these DCs that's at a bigger program? I mean, what are you thinking of an Al Harris? How would you feel about that, Jeff?
So, and this is not he was here with us a couple years ago, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was with under Quinn.
Yeah. So I like Al Harris. I think he has potential. I'm just not sure if he's ready for this position. To me, I think he will be a good coordinator, maybe defense coordinator at some point. I do. But if we are looking to get to a chip, I don't know if he has the necessary experiences to be able to modify his defense based on the schemes that are coming. I just haven't seen that yet from him.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with going to get him, because, we've had a whole bunch of different DCs in the past few years, but I would look for someone who's already having a key role in a hopefully top 5 defense already in the league.
Yes.
So Schwartz.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right. That defense in Cleveland is tough. Right. And you really only know about one person.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a bunch of people that know names there. Obviously that scheme works. We keep talking about the Texans. The Seahawks defense has shown with really no-name defense that they can get after it too. So there's people out there that are already having success on other teams. My thing is, do you go Al Harris, or do you go someone who's already having that success and you're already seeing it? So it's a risk for a team that if we retool like we're supposed to, we're in win now mode.
Yeah. I think you got to win now. I don't know about you, Greg. I got to go established guy is my top priority, because this defensive coordinator position is the most critical thing for this Cowboys team. It could sink the ship, or it could elevate it, because their offense is all coming pretty much back. I mean, they're loaded on offense. They've got a window of opportunity. The defense is the Achilles heel, and you need a defense that can absolutely, do something, to slow a team down. We can't do that. We can't play, back and forth. That is not a recipe to win. I don't care how electric your offense is. Defenses will slow them down, will stop them, and you need to have a defense that can hold down the fort until you kind of figure it out, and it's that chess game. So, I mean, where are you at with it, Greg, as far as an experienced guy, or would you be okay with an unproven guy coming in?
Jerry needs to go all in. I'm getting tired every year. Jerry's getting somebody who he thinks can develop. Jerry's getting somebody who might come up behind somebody. He needs to go all in and get Schwartz. And I really didn't want him to get rid of Al Harris for our DB coach, because Al Harris, you see what he's doing up in Chicago. Al Harris as the DB coach, and then you bring Schwartz in as the DC.
But I think Al Harris might have been his decision in defense of everything. It might have been his decision.
Yeah, it may have been, but still, those two, and I know we won't go back and get Al Harris and bring him back as a defensive back coach. I know that, but that would have been the best scenario to have him and then Schwartz. But Schwartz is proven, and I don't want somebody who's under somebody's tutelage at another team with a good defensive coordinator, and they're under him, that person as tutelage, to bring them in, because the tutelage is one thing, but the person who's sitting in that seat, who has that experience, that is running that defensive coordinator, that's what I want. You can't just clone yourself into that person that's in that tutelage and they try to bring the same scheme to us. They don't have what this person has. Right now, other than Brian Flores, I think Schwartz is the money. If we get Schwartz, and Schwartz brings that dog mentality we need on defensive coordinator that's commensurate with what Kenny Clark is talking about. If we get Schwartz and bring him in, that means we are going all in on making that defense what it needs to be, because we have the offense. There's no way you should give up any opportunity to match that offense with a defense that it needs to complement to go forward. We're right there. So don't go and get somebody, I think we'll try this guy. No, because then you're going to jeopardize the offense's production because you don't have a defense to complement it.
But there's one thing about that, though, Greg. It doesn't matter who you bring in. You got to bring the ingredients in with them, right? You're going to have to bring the ingredients. So the thing is, whoever you bring in, it's going to be a learning experience for all the players. Plus, you got to give them the talent. So even if you bring Schwartz in, he's not going to have the level of impact that we want day one, year one, right? That's going to be something that will probably take place, hopefully, by our bye week.
Yeah.
But so you're going to have that delay at some point, regardless of the coach that you bring in. Now, granted, I think we all say, hey, bring a proven DC in, someone who knows how to call the plays, someone who understands schemes, concepts, someone who's got that level of familiarity with a bunch of offensive coaches, so they already know the schemes. But if I have someone who's working underneath of them, and they've been working underneath of them, say, for 5-6 years on proven defenses, man, I'd be okay with giving them an opportunity.
Yeah, but here's the thing. We're giving them an opportunity, and that's going to be no better than not bringing in Schwartz. Not only do you bring in Schwartz, but you go in the draft, and like I said, you have to go outside and look at these players that are out of their contracts on other teams that are dogs, that are lunch bucket players, and bring some of those in. You bring some of those in, you have a successful draft, you bring Schwartz in. We don't wait till the bye week to get good. He develops that culture immediately in the offseason, and they come out banging week one, because now you got these dogs from other teams you picked up whose contracts are gone. Now you got a successful draft, and you got one hell of a defensive coordinator. There's no way that we don't come out that first week, and that culture has combined with those dogs, the 2 or 3 dogs we already have, and that defensive coordinator who's a dog himself, and the defensive draft we got with mentors coming on the team too. We will come out that first week far better than we are now. But you have to do all three. Get that defensive coordinator, Schwartz. have a successful draft on defense and get some dogs from other teams whose contracts are up, and you don't have to pay them multi-billions to get them. And I guarantee you we'll come out week one and we will be one hell of a force on defense that'll complement our offense. They won't have to be on the field. I mean, the defense won't have to be on the field that long, and our offense can do what they have to.
You think Schwartz wants to be defense coordinator again?
No. Schwartz has had his run at being head coach. Schwartz right now knows, not just because of his past as being a head coach not successful, his age and how the NFL is going down, looking at younger coaches with different styles. Schwartz, I think, would be more than happy to take a defensive coordinator job with the Cowboys, because that could still set him up as a head coach somewhere else. But I think he would be more than happy to take a defensive coordinator job with the Cowboys instead of saying, I'm gonna wait for a head coaching job. But Jerry's got to do those three things. He's got to do those three things. And if he does those three things, we come out far, far better. Not a little better, but don't go get an understudy. Don't go get somebody we think can do it, because right now, I'm tired of us every year doing that understudy. Think he can make it. Let's get this guy. Now it's time to go out there, Jerry, get off your ass, get a proven DC.
Jerry doesn't spend money like that.
I think it needs to be.
I'm not saying he will.
They've got to your point, they got to attack everything early. Like, I think they need to be active in free agency early. I think they can't wait to the last minute to get guys. They got to get guys in the building, in the system, if they want to do it. But just looking at a couple other things with the priorities, and real quick, we got a bunch of new subscribers that just came on just this morning. So definitely thank you again. We're getting closer and closer to 5,000. And I want to get to 10,000. I'm a goal-oriented guy. I want to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of next year. We doubled our subscribers in 25. I want to double them in 26. But make sure you guys do hit that thumbs up. It helps. Hit the subscribe, like, and share. Also, we do have our Cowboys Cave community membership. You can be part of the Cowboys Cave family. It's on there. Just hit the join button. I think it's like $4.99. We do giveaways, so I always make sure you guys will get your money back in gift cards and something. Always take care of you guys. So definitely do that. Appreciate the support and love to the Cowboys Cave family. Looking at priorities, look at offense. And, I saw a couple comments in the chat. We're not really sold on the offense. I didn't think Shoddy did a good play. Here's my deal with the offense. I'm sold on the offense for this reason. They had to survive that defense. And when you got a shitty-ass defense, it takes you away from doing things that you would want to do. It screws up your game plan because you can't be a run-first team when your defense is giving up touchdowns left and right. But I look at the personnel and I look at the continuity that they have. Dak Prescott, obviously veteran. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Jake Ferguson. If you get Javonte Williams back, which I would be happy if he'd signed like a Pollard kind of deal, a reasonable deal, I would take Williams back. He's 24 years old, I believe. So he's still young. The offensive line, I think there's going to be some question, and I wanted to get your opinion on this, Jeff, and you too, Greg, is you got Tyler Smith. They've been playing him at a left tackle the last couple of games. I don't know if the media is making more out of it, or do you think the Cowboys are trying to shift him to left tackle, move Guyton to right tackle? I think it would make sense only because I like Hoffman. I like Bass. I think you could plug one of those two guys in there, and you got Booker and you got BB. Or you could throw BB, who was a natural guard in college, move him to the guard, move Bass or Hoffman into the center role if you guys wanted to do something like that. But what's your thoughts on the priorities on offense? Is there much you're going to change, Jeff? And really with Tyler Smith, if they put him left tackle, they're going to have to kind of change that contract a little bit and pay him like a left tackle. But what's your thoughts?
Honestly, to me, that's just something that we're retooling, right? We're not I don't think we need to make a bunch of changes. I think we let Steele go. We can pick up someone now, and that's the thing. Are we going to put the Tylers on left tackle and right tackle and then fill in the guards? It's a lot easier and a lot more cost effective to bring a guard in, whether that's via free agency or from draft capital. You can get those later in the draft. So you can do that. I mean, we have 3 first-round picks on the offensive line when everyone's healthy. But I I think for me is get rid of Steele and then figure out, do you want them both? Do you want to have them at tackles, or do you want to have tackle guard? They need to figure out what they're going to do there.
Yeah.
And
the draft, I know the Miami kid is a big name, the big tackle. I don't know if he'd be. I'm kind of over the Cowboys drafting offensive lineman in the first round right now. I want this to be all defense, but would you be terribly upset if they went?
We're not. No more offensive linemen. I said last year we were going to pick an offensive lineman. I knew that. So when it popped up, my phone blew up because everyone I worked with was like, "Yep, you were right." I was like, it was obvious to me what we were going to do.
Yeah,
we can't do that this year, right? So whether you go out and keep Tyler's at left guard, left tackle, or you try to move them around, I almost like them being right next to each other, to be honest with you. Because if they're on their game, we should be able to maul people, literally maul people offensively. Our running backs getting 4.5, 5 yards per touch. That's what I want to see. I would love to have a team like that because Dak is nasty on play action.
Yeah.
So when you got to creep people into the box because you have to nullify that run and you got those wide receivers on the outside, we are a problem. So I would like to see that if you pick up a right tackle in the draft, which I don't think we will because I think we're not going to get a quality right tackle further down in the draft.
Yeah.
So you pick up someone free agency wise on right tackle. If you need some depth, you can pick up 5th, 6th rounders from a guard perspective, or someone that's making the minimum. So I think we can do that. I would love to have a dominant side of the ball where, hey, it's 3rd and 1, and someone's blowing the horn saying, "Woo, woo, yeah, this is where I'm going. Someone stop me." You know who I'm talking about. That's what I want to see. Yeah. I want to see that. We need to be able. Hey, it's 3rd and 1. Y'all can do what y'all want. There's a 99% chance that we gonna get this 3rd and 1 all day long, and we'll tell you where we're going, and you still can't stop it. I want to see that level of attitude, but to me, you got to have those dogs. So yeah, I'm just retool. I don't know what they're doing by putting him at left tackle. It's going to be interesting to see what their mindset, what their vision is moving forward.
Yeah, no, I mean, and he was a tackle in college too. I mean, this isn't like new territory for him, but I think he's been an all-pro, all-world guard. I don't think this has been his best season. I think he's had some injuries. I think he probably made, got some of the accolades just based off reputation this year. I thought Booker made huge strides. I thought he's been a dominant. I mean, he's again come from Alabama. He got some attitude to him. So I like this offensive line last year. I like him even more this year. I don't really see a lot they need to do. They just need to kind of address the running back of what they're going to do, and that'll be interesting in today's game. Look, and I know one game doesn't tell the story, but let's see what Maffa, see what Blue have. That kind of lets you know, because I think Williams, he was getting 4.8 yards a carry. I mean, he was being dominant, but I do think you need to have a little bit of lightning with him. I think you do need to have someone, and Blue would be kind of that guy out of the backfield that can cause some damage in the passing game. But I think Flournoy, what he's done, obviously you're going to get Pickens. And I know they're going to sign Pickens. I'm not even worried about that, so I'm going to get deep into it. But CD is one of the great ones. This offense is there. I mean, it's there. I mean, it's peaking. It's at the right position. They just got to get this defense. But Greg, do you see anything on the offense that you would tweak up?
No, I'm not even concerned about the offense right now, because even if we pick up some free agents to complement some tackles and guards, then that's fine, and pick them up a little bit later, 1 or 2, and then that'll help if somebody needs to get rest and all of that. I'm not worrying about that. My entire focus in the draft is going to be on defense. And I just hope if we see a shiny penny up there on defensive line or something, and Jerry decides I'm going to go all in on this guy. Okay, well, all right, Jerry, you want to get somebody else to put on defensive line to complement? You see that shiny penny, okay, but damn it, don't lose focus on linebackers, corners, and safeties, because that's where we need the most help. Because once those folks get behind that defensive line, we have been jeopardized extremely. So let's make sure that you stay focused. Offense, I'm not a concern whether he's left guard, tackle, whether he's the usher to put people in seats. I don't give a damn. I really don't. That will help itself because every team always, whether you got that full complement you need, every team still goes out there in the late rounds or in free agency and picks up one or two complimentary people to back up in there. And they all do that. So that's going to come either later rounds or in the free agency. Everything needs to go on that defense of linebackers and corners. That's what I want to see Jerry do. I would not be upset if maybe in the later rounds that they pick up a running back. And I say that because a lightning type. I say that because Blue, I think there's more than just the physical talent with Blue that's just not connecting. Maffa, there's something that we've never heard them talk about with Maffa of why Maffa hasn't been activated. I don't know and I think they both had an injury. I think they both had a slight injury, but I don't know what it is with Maffa that Maffa hasn't been on the field
yet.
Some
of it they stash because it's all a numbers game. So some of it is, we're going to put them on IR. They're going to put them on this because they got to be careful because they don't want another team to take them, right? So they kind of use these injuries and they use this. It's a game of numbers and it's what they play. I mean,
but at the same time, game of numbers or not, if this guy is a dog back there, he would have been in. He would have been in this season before Blue. I think with Williams, though, changed that, right? Williams, I guarantee you, if Williams, God forbid, would have got hurt, I think you would have saw Maffa somehow. He's back. He's out. You know what I'm saying? I think Maffa and Williams are very similar styles. So Blue is that's where I say you need a lightning. I think Maffa for this team is, let's see how he does. And if we don't, let's say we don't sign Williams, let's say another team offers him a contract that's out of what we want to pay for a running back. Then they say, you know what? All right, we feel okay with Maffa. We think he's got some of that skill set, and we see him in a game, got some action. So we feel good that he could replace him, and then we go find another running back in free agency if they have. That's what I think the whole Maffa thing was. And if they do, and that's why I say in the later rounds, I wouldn't be upset at all if we sign another running back. But don't sign a running back. Don't sign a running back later in the rounds based on what we have that's coming off an injury. Don't do that. Don't add injury of running backs. Get somebody with no injury, and then that way, if all this stuff transpires, that person can come in and fill those shoes. But if we go in this draft and Jerry starts manipulating things, and I don't see defensive back, safety, linebacker. If I don't see that, I'm sitting there saying, Jerry, you ain't learned a damn thing for Epiphany. You sold us another used car just to get the attention, and now we're back where we are again. And you're getting all these shiny pennies over here, but you got nothing here in the back. And you think a defense coordinator is going to come in and correct that with no talent and no expertise back there. You done lost your mind. But free. Well, I don't know if lightning's going to strike me down. I don't know what's going on. Jeff, cue it up cue up what you played earlier, because I've never thought I'd see this in my lifetime. Which one you want? Nope. Which one you want? Give me some applause. My man Ultra sends a congratulatory super chat. He was wrong. Now, Ultra, I love Ultra. He's one of my favorites in the Cowboys Cave family. And he knows his stuff. So I take this as a proud moment. He knows his football, and he finally sees the light with the Canes. I just honestly, Ultra, I hope they can finish it. Fiesta Bowl, we're going to get into it in a couple minutes, has been just a bad spot from Hurricanes between Ohio State, Penn State, that Big Ten. It's been a nightmare. So it's going to be there, but I definitely do appreciate it. I'm so happy for my Canes. I'm just telling you, I'm just elated on it. But yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Greg. When I see something from Ultra that's positive, I got to take hold of it. Well, so the biggest thing for me, offensive wise, I agree with you guys. We're gonna re-sign Pickens one way or another. Yeah, it's steel. Yeah, he gotta go. Yeah. You have to get the upgrade there. Yeah. We all agree. We all agree on that. It's Steele, and not that Steele is a bad player. Steele has been one of those legendary players for the Cowboys for a long time. But his time has come. So I can see us replacing Steele, but I don't. Not right in those first few, not in the first or second round, unless second round late something really pops up. But
I think free agency.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I think free agency. I think unless I'm just telling you, don't. I mean, the Cowboys love offensive linemen, and if a guy were to fall, a tackle were to fall, and they got 2 1s. They can go defense and they can go line. I'm not saying I'd be happy, but
you can't have 4 first-round picks on your offensive line.
No, especially when we're lacking. I'm gonna give a crazy analogy.
Boy.
You got a car, you got 2 brand new tires up front. No, 3 brand new tires, and you got one in the back that's just bald as hell. But now it's time to go get some tires. Oh, I already know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get a brand new tire to replace that one. No, you go out there and get a brand new tire to replace a brand new tire. That's stupid. And then you leave the ball back there for later and then go get a retread to put on top. We can't do that. And in free agency, I want to hear some game changers in free agency. Well, we got a free agent out of Detroit. We got a free agent maybe out of Texas, got a free agent out of Denver. We got a free agent out of wherever. I want to hear some free agent picks that their contract is up. They are dogs, but they're not going to have to be signed with big contracts. And they bring the culture and mentality of wanting to play hard and win. If he goes out and does that, despite what he's going to get in the draft, I know we're going to be far better on linebackers and corners and safeties, because that's going to be the game changer for us in free agency, getting those dogs and linebackers, corners, and safety that are already out there playing their ass off with teams that either aren't measuring up, their contracts up, or teams that are measuring up, their contract is up, and these guys have the opportunity. I think that's going to make the biggest difference, because that new talent we bring in from the draft still has to be developed, still has to adjust to the speed of the NFL, still has to pick up play schemes. But bring those free agents in, and boy, if we can land somebody like Schwartz, I wish I had a direct line to Schwartz. He said, "Who the hell are you?" I said, "Man, I'm nobody. But let me tell you something. Whatever you thinking, man, go to Jerry Jones, get your agent to talk to him, and campaign to come to Dallas as the defensive coordinator, because I know you will be successful."
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're going to get into the draft, and we got a whole season of it. We got a long off season. So we're going to get into it. So again, with the Cowboys Cave family, a lot of you guys knew we got 330 of you guys hanging out in here. Let's get 330 likes. Let's get, if you ain't subscribe. I know we got a lot of people that love watching the show, but they're too lazy to hit the subscribe button. I do that. I'm guilty of it too. So I got to get better at it myself in this thing, but definitely appreciate all the love. Now we're going to change the tune and wrap it up. And I know if you're a Cowboys fan, maybe you don't want to hear about it, but we're going to talk some college football real quick. Because yes, the U absolutely tears in my eyes, when that game was going on with Ohio State. And it was so satisfying that I was out on Saturday and I went to a little bar down the road in Ohio. I wear my Hurricane stuff proudly, and Ohio State fan, he looked at me and goes, "Oh, the Hurricanes." I said, "What are you, Ohio State fan?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I got to tell you," he goes, "I've never seen such a size difference in Miami compared to what Ohio State." He goes, "You guys were monsters compared." And it was so good to hear, because years ago, my Hurricanes went up to play Alabama in Georgia, open the season, and they absolutely destroyed and embarrassed us. And my brother was at the game, and my brother said, he goes, "Mike," he goes, "I saw these players. It looked like a high school team playing a professional team. The Bama guys are so much bigger." So Miami has definitely risen up. They got back. The U is back. And I was so happy in this game. I mean, it was like I was telling Jeff, if you guys missed the earlier part, it was to the point of the happiest moment since obviously us putting Brady in retirement in Tampa when we were at the game. Just excited. And then you get Ole Miss, and you get this matchup that not a lot of people thought was going to happen. They thought Ole Miss was going to get beat by Georgia, and it was going to be Beck versus former team. And then Oregon, and I'm worried about Kelly. I've texted him a couple of times. He's around, but I worry because Oregon absolutely beat the hell out of Texas Tech. It broke my heart because I wanted it so bad. But then you look at, I wanted it bad for him. And then you look at Indiana. I stand corrected. I didn't believe that a team from Indiana could be the top team in college football. I don't know why. I guess that's just the way I am. I'm a Southern guy, so I love the South. But they absolutely embarrassed Bama to the point of, I don't know if they should fire their coach. I know Bama wants him gone, but you guys in the chat, man, there's nothing better than playoff college football. But there were some games, and now you got the Final Four. I mean, what are you thinking, Jeff? You're the neutral guy. You got no dog in the fight. I mean, what are you thinking? What are you thinking?
So first, we kind of talked about this before the show started. Hats off to Miami, right? And so for those that don't know, I lived in England for a few years, big soccer fan. And when I lived in England, English teams may have huge rivalries, but when they went to play other teams in Europe, you kind of supported that team. I've always had a healthy respect for Miami as a Florida State fan. We don't duck each other. When we ball out, we come to play and we put it all on the line, right? It's almost Dallas, Washington. It doesn't matter what your record is. That goes out the window when we line up on the field.
Yeah.
When I saw them handling, and I mean paws all over Ohio State, I was like, go on with your bad self. I was happy to see it because I have an appreciation for Miami, and I'm going to support that team, right? I'm going to support them. They're in the ACC with us, and we have a healthy rivalry across decades. And I love to see it because I have to hope that one day Florida State will turn and make the change to what Miami has been doing for the past couple of years. But for me, I love to see Miami physicality, speed, scheme. They were all over Ohio State, and Ohio State was supposed to be that team.
Yeah.
And to me, you may have won by 10. That wasn't a 10-point game.
Yeah, well, Urban Meyer said all they got to do is score 14 points and Ohio State's going to win. Well, they got their 14.
They
win.
Yeah. So for me, the key to Miami moving forward, as long as Beck plays mistake-free, if he can manage the game, because he didn't even throw for 200 yards, if he can play mistake-free, manage the game, I think then it becomes Ole Miss offense versus Miami defense. And I don't think Ole Miss offense has seen a defense who's as physically equipped as Miami is. Yeah. The speed, the strength, the physicality, when Ohio State caught the ball, you didn't get very many yak yards. As soon as you caught that ball, somebody's smashing into you.
Yeah.
That's what I like to see. So I have a huge respect for what I saw from Miami. I've picked them to beat Ole Miss in the next round. And maybe that's an unpopular pick because Ole Miss put up a bunch of points against Georgia. But to me, this Georgia defense isn't Georgia defenses of the past. Just like the Alabama defenses and Alabama defenses of the past. With players being able to leave, you can't keep 5-star athletes for 3-4 years, and then they're ready to come in and not miss a beat. So now you really have to manage your roster. You got to manage your players. And Miami showed, hey, you line us up against anybody, and we gonna put them through it. Yeah. So this. I don't even know what else to say, but you guys were listening to you talk about it, Mike, gave me goosebumps. So, hey, I'm happy for y'all. I'm happy that y'all getting that level of success. For all the people that went the other way, hey, you proved you wrong. And I would suggest against Ole Miss, y'all probably look at Miami and say, that's the way to go.
Yeah. I just hope they continue that hunger. And I think they have, like I talked about, Keontae Scott, and these other players have sleeping bags in the facility. They're sitting there and there. And I know a lot of people give Michael Irvin a lot of grief, and they make the jokes and their drugs and this and that. I'm just telling you, the passion he has for that university
Mhm.
and the alumni, you're not going to see that anymore because with the NIL, these guys are bouncing around. He absolutely loves that university. Jimmy Johnson went out there and you saw it. I mean, there's something about Miami and the alumni and the way those guys, they just really bleed it. And I think a lot of it is it's a lot of those kids are 305 kids, man. They grew up together. You know, they played Pop Warner together. High school competed against each other. Now they're on the same team. And sometimes, yeah, they're on Florida State and you have that rivalry. I just think there's something special about Miami when they're at this level. It's just really, it's really cool to see and to watch the alumni. Greg, I know you were, you were on cloud nine as well. I mean, what's your thoughts on these Canes going against Ole Miss, trying to exercise the demons of the Fiesta Bowl? Let's just say it. Ohio State, Miami in the Fiesta Bowl. Miami, Penn State, big favorites in the Fiesta Bowl. And it's been a thorn. I'm just saying.
No. Those players were in diapers.
Yeah.
Don't put that on them. Don't even put that in the universe. Absolutely.
I think Jeremiah Smith might be coming back to Miami. It's funny.
But listen, my younger brother is a diehard Archie Griffin type Ohio State fan. My Air Force buddy, Al Dino, if you're out there, Dino is a diehard Ohio State. My best friend, Will, in San Antonio on the cruise right now, him and Regina, diehard Ohio State. My brother was clowning me all week. Buddy, it stops with us. We bringing it. I said, no, and I just kept saying two words to him all week. I said, Jim, we coming. And that's all I said all week. And when we put it on them, he had no choice but to call and congratulate. Didn't hear nothing from Will. Didn't hear nothing from Dino.
Phone got quiet.
And to give the Ohio State fans a little credit, all them in my DM, that I allowed you to say whatever you say, because Mike, I told you I never answer the haters. I let you say everything you wanted. Most of them came back, say, congratulations. Y'all won, blah, blah, blah. I didn't hear no, yeah, but we were better and all this. Let me tell you, the Miami Hurricanes are finally right now the Miami Hurricanes of the past. Michael Irvin has been my biggest hero of one of the alumni all season long, because he doesn't come out there and try to profile. He comes out there and shows you his passion down to removing his belt. Michael Irvin has been there all season long, where a lot of the other alumni didn't come out. He's been there all season long. He's pushing it, and it's making a difference when the passion and the desire for the team, for the players to go out there and win. Ole Miss defense gave up, 30-something points? Their defense and Georgia's defense are not the defense, especially Georgia's, not the defense used to be. Their defenses are porous. They are very, very susceptible to getting exploited. My only concern in Ole Miss is the fact that they have a passion that's growing right now, that's bringing something out of those players beyond what they thought they had. And their offense behind Chambliss is strong. It's one of the top offensive passing games in the NCAA. And if we can control that like we did the Texas A&M quarterback to an extent, we can exploit that defense and score far more points than both of our first two games combined and go into this championship. I am expecting, and I'm going to be on pins and needles again, because you never know if Cinderella's slipper drops. I'm expecting Miami to exploit their defense and put up points. My only concern is Shannon Dawson. Shannon Dawson, to me, he's good, but Shannon Dawson, to me, is the weakest link on the coaching staff, offensive coordinator. The defensive coordinator is lights out. I hope we get to keep him. But Shannon Dawson depends on the game plan he brings in, what Cristobal has been fostering him during this week, and they've been pumping into him, Shannon, stay on this level, do this, because I think he got in his ear after Texas A&M game and the Ohio State game. That offense was totally different. If they come out with Shannon Dawson's game plan. They're already going to be motivated. Bain, I love Bain because Bain doesn't talk smack. He doesn't put anything on the chalkboard. He listens to everything, let everybody talk. He lets his field business take care of everything. Then later, he comes out calmly and tactfully and throws the shade where it belongs. They're going to continue to do that. This is what the biggest game for them, to me. I know the people are going to say you crazy, Greg. This is bigger than the championship game to me, because this gets us in the championship. This gets us in it. And Ole Miss is coming off all this controversy. They want to show the world, and everybody's backing them, that Lane Kiffin left. You still got his residue there. The coaches are in flux whether they want to stay and be part of this or not. Chambliss is being the god of Ole Miss right now. Ole Miss has never been there. They are so close. The players are going to be passionate. So that is what we're going to have to overcome. But if our players are just as passionate and don't take them for granted and don't take your foot off their neck if we start getting the lead, then we'll be successful getting that championship. And then from that point on, I think we break the curse. We break the curse of Arizona, because that Penn State game and that Ohio State game just killed me, especially the Penn State game. And we should have went in there and just lit them up. And that Penn State game out there.
Boy, you got to stop talking about 20, 30 years ago, man. Goodness gracious.
We can't let things go. But no, I think a lot of people are making more out of the A&M game than it is. It's 30-mile-an-hour winds. I mean, you were not going to have both offenses were very high-powered offenses. Neither one of them could get things going in the wind. I thought what Beck did was absolutely, he was money in that Ohio State game. And it really wasn't with his arm. It was with his legs and making those tough runs, lowering his shoulder. He wanted to win. I mean, you're going against Ohio State. I mean, they're 5 stars all over the place. I didn't think Miami was going to go out there and put 45 points on. That wasn't going to happen. I thought they were very strategic. So I like Dawson. I think he adapted to what the style was. They didn't force Tony as much. They went to Daniels, which I like. I thought they tried to force Tony a little bit too much in the A&M game. But looking at who the other half of this bracket, because I got to give respect to Indiana. I was not a believer. I was not a believer in a quarterback. I was not a believer in this team. That coach is something else. That coach he's the real deal. So I apologize and give him full respect. And then what Oregon did to my man's Texas Tech team, it broke my heart sitting there watching it. And, I felt so bad. But that's going to be a battle too. I mean, Indiana got them early. You think Oregon payback, or what do you think, Jeff?
Nah, Indiana's going to walk through Oregon. Oregon, this is not the Oregon teams that we knew, like the Chip Kelly Oregon teams. Like this is not that high profile, high powered, we're going to score 45, 50 on an off game offense. This is not that Oregon team. I think their leading receiver is the tight end. Right. And they've been a run dominant team most of the year because I think their 2 top wide receivers have been hurt. So for me, this is not the Oregon team that I've seen. I think Texas Tech was flattered because they had call it what it is. They had a weak schedule where the only teams they really played of note was BYU twice.
Yeah. And
when they had to play against some people that we got some big boys, we had some athletes, it showed.
Yeah, and their defense wasn't the problem, Texas Tech.
It wasn't. It wasn't the offense. Their offense, every time they had an opportunity, driving to the red zone, throwing an interception. Like it's just they did it to themselves. So, but it's one thing what Oregon did, and I've watched Oregon a couple times this year, but I'm stunned with how good and how well put together this Indiana team is. Like, first of all, I love the coach. I love his attitude. Google me. Like that, when you have that level of arrogance as a coach, that wears off on the players, right? And the players are like, oh, we are like that. Well, guess what? If I talk that, I got to back that up day in, day out. And that's what you see from that team. They got 4 wide receivers, 6'4", 6'2", 6'2", 6 foot, right? So they stretch the field. They play complementary ball. You don't have a bunch of names on defense. They got 2 running backs. They don't have a bunch of names on defense. But if that defense is on the field for a long period of time, that offense will come in and say, hey, we need to let ball control. We're going to run a 12-play drive, give our defense some win, right? They don't make mistakes. They have better athletes. And The biggest thing that I've seen from Cignetti is because he was at JMU before and was very successful there.
Yeah.
When he goes into the transfer portal, he identifies talent that fits that team. So he's not looking at, hey, this guy was a 5-star. He's sitting on Alabama. He wants to leave. No. He's looking at who is the right person that's going to fit our scheme and that we can bring out the best in him that's going to then help us. And he's been able to identify those players left, right, and center. To me, they've lost 2 games in the past 2 years.
Yeah.
And that is the hottest team in the nation right now. If it ends up being Miami and Indiana, that will be one hell of a contest, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think Indiana's going to have any issue with Oregon. I really don't.
And here's the thing: they talk about the transfer portal, and because of the transfer portal, you're not going to have these teams that have the legacy players for a while and be able to carry for long. But I think if any team is going to be that way, it's going to be Indiana. I don't see the Indiana players, whether they win the national championship or not, I don't see the Indiana players going into the portal to other teams. Indiana has a base and a culture there that players, if they don't go to the NFL, will stay. They will be one of the last juggernauts, in spite of the transfer portal, where players decide to stay because this brand new culture that's being built of winning and how they've done for the last 2 years. And Cignetti, they will stay at Indiana. And Cignetti will do exactly what Jeff said, find those people he can plug and play that fits their scheme. So Indiana will have a prominent program for a while. And the transfer portal, as far as people leaving and vacating it won't affect them much because I don't see any other team that these guys would want to leave Indiana for in the transfer portal to go to. They will stay there. And based on that culture and that base in Indiana, that's what would make them stay there and build this new juggernaut. All these other teams, whether it's Georgia, Ohio State, Texas Tech, all them, some of these guys are going to be leaving to the transfer portal. The great thing about Miami, which is a win-win for us, is after this season, there are going to be some people wanting to go in the transfer portal and be so much talent available to come back to Miami. Florida boys who left, who will probably come back now because that's where they wanted to be, but Miami just wasn't showing it. And you get an offer from somebody like Ohio State. That was a done deal. These boys are going to be coming. Florida boys are going to stay in Florida, and Miami in the transfer portal is going to get even stronger next year. The only thing that we really have to win on is a quarterback. And there are going to be many of them available that want to come to Miami because of what we're doing.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree, man. I'm excited. It's going to be, I mean, Thursday can't get here fast enough, man. And I said, if Miami can win, I'm going to take a couple PTO days and I am going to go down to Miami. I don't know if I'll go to the game because I looked at the prices of the game. I don't think I'd do that, but I want to enjoy the moment. I want to enjoy the weekend. I want to enjoy all of that. So hopefully Miami can do it because, man, I was thinking it's been too damn long. If you're a Cowboys and Kane fan, it's been a damn long time. I got to get this thing going. But yeah, so, hey, I know it's almost game time. We went a little over. I definitely appreciate all you guys, 330 in the chat. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, share on your way out. We should be live on Monday, I believe. And then Wednesday, we're getting back to the routine now that we got the new year going. We'll get into the playoffs of the NFL. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes. So we'll definitely be breaking that down. But appreciate all you guys hanging out in the cave. And sorry for Carl. I kind of gave Carl the boot. And I'll just be honest with you. He's kind of gotten a little bit of become a troll. And I respect like some good banter and some. But when you're just constantly being a troll to be a troll, it just kind of wears on me. So that's why you don't see Carl. I kind of gave him the boot a little bit. Maybe he'll learn his lesson. It got old with me. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting older. Maybe I'm crotchety in my older age at 2026, but it becomes an annoyance and I don't like to be annoyed. Am I wrong, Jeff and Greg? Did I cross the line?
No, I saw you. Look, I don't mind. Hey, that's healthy, right? That going back and forth is healthy. But when If I say left, you go
Yes.
right. If I say up, you go. If it doesn't matter what we talk about, you gonna go opposite of me. Okay, at that point,
it's just
when
it's
there's no
so
logic.
I want to debate. Like if you want to debate, but he don't even follow college football, and I've heard him every week. Oh, Canes suck. Canes, they're gonna win. I mean, you can't give credit where credit is due to the team. Forget me, the team. Then you're just a troll, and he's become a troll. And
I'm a Seminoles fan, and I can give credit to the youth.
Yes, and that pains you. I know.
It's
weird. Go ahead, Greg. Sorry.
Listen. We all know how it is on social media. Some people sit in their pajamas and get on social media, not to be logical, not to be intelligent in the conversation. They want to stick out, and the best way for them to stick out is to be annoying. They annoying, and that fire needs air and a source, and they get the air from the response comes back. So long as you don't respond to them, it's like a mosquito flying around, but all of a sudden it doesn't bother you. But once you respond, it gives them the air. And that's what some people, and that's what Carl is. Carl, I respect him for coming on the Cowboys Cave, but that just means he found a podcast that's so popular, that is so dynamic in the Cowboys lore, that he just had to come in here and try to disrupt it. But you can't phase a Cowboy fan no matter what you say. It just ain't gonna happen.
No. And the interesting thing, and I know we got to wrap it up, but just real quick, I was going to say this earlier, then we got kind of long-winded on the college, but it's interesting, college football and pro. Like, I have no interest in seeing Washington, the Giants, anyone in the NFL. Like, I don't want to see any of them winning a Super Bowl, right? I don't. Absolutely. But it's true to what you said, Jeff, was sticking in my head, because when it becomes a college, like, there is a pride in your conference. Like I was pulling for Florida State when they got kind of screwed over by the college football playoffs when they had that run with Travis. You pull for your I see SEC guys pull for the SEC, but it's different in college than it is the pros. There becomes a pride to your conference is what you end up pulling for. I think that's I don't know if that'll change, but it's interesting.
I'm with you. On the NFL level, all y'all got to lose.
Yeah. I don't want to. I'm an AFC guy when the Super Bowl happened.
And Jeff, my cousin in Marianna, Florida, he's a FSU fan, and we go all year long talking about it, going back and forth. But we give one another credit where credit is due. And I was down, 10 toes down, when they were in the locker room looking to see if the NCAA was going to select them, and they didn't, which is with some bull cocky. Mm-hmm. And they could have put them boys in there, and they only did it because the quarterback got hurt, and they didn't put him in. And that was BS. That was BS. But yes, I'm a rival of Florida State. I want to see them lose all the time, but I give credit to Florida State where credit is due.
Yeah. It's just college is just a different.
It's
it's different than there's a lot. I mean, it seems like just there's a lot of pride with conferences and stuff. So anyway, hey guys, we're gonna get rolling so we can watch the last game. And real quick, just 1 second thing. Do the Cowboys pull off the win? Yes or no? Jeff?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes, but
okay.
You gotta say that with your chest, Greg.
Who wins? Yeah. Atlanta, New Orleans. If Atlanta wins, Panthers go to the playoffs. New Orleans wins. Tampa goes. Greg, who do you got?
Atlanta. I want the Saints to win, but Atlanta's gonna win it.
Atlanta's gonna win. Jeff?
Yep, I called it yesterday. I think Atlanta wins. I said Bucks would win, Atlanta would win, Carolina would get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
All right. And you've got the Ravens tonight, Pittsburgh. Lamar Jackson's back. I mean, how is this going to fold out? I think Lamar's 1-3 in Pittsburgh, maybe in his career. Something. I know he's got a record. But Jeff, I'll give you the first shot at it. Who's going to win this one?
The Ravens win. I hate the criticism that I'm seeing from Lamar. People saying he's quitting on the team. I don't see that for when Joe Burrow's hurt.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see that with Josh Allen. Josh Allen doesn't have enough talent. Well, hold on. What running back leads the league in rushing?
Yeah.
Right. So I hate to see him taking these shots, and because I think that's unfair criticism. On the flip side, I look at Mike Tomlin and I'm like, you may have another winning record, but if you look at your roster, that team offensively, terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. And as soon as DK went out, that cost them the playoffs. In my opinion, Ravens win.
Yeah.
Ravens win. You take the Ravens?
I take the Ravens, and Lamar's injury at his hip area is more than what people realize, and it's not being told a lot because they want to keep it under wraps. But that's the reason. It's not so much, and he's not giving up on the team. That injury is a little more significant, and I think they managed it well to get him to this point. And now Lamar is going to be healthier enough to play. Ravens take this.
Ravens take it. Last thing, if you both say Ravens, is Tomlin out in Pittsburgh? Do you think it's run its course?
No. He's going out.
Not yet.
I mean,
you don't think it's a mutual thing? They both probably need a fresh start somewhere?
No, because of Rodgers. Because of Rodgers. No.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to get into more Monday, Wednesday. We'll see where it ends up. I personally think Atlanta wins. I think the Ravens win. I think the Cowboys win, and I win my over. Please help me. Give me some positivity in the Cowboys season. But appreciate all the love, guys. Thank you for all the support. We will see you Monday night. You guys have a good enjoy football Sunday. It's all about the you. You guys know that. See you.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.